Cody, go back. Good! Good dog! That is a good dog!
Hillbilly girl, just as sweet as wine.
Go back. Good. Go back. Go back. Good dog!
Like a muscadine.
Good dog! Very good! Cody, go back. Good dog! Good! Good girl! That's a good girl! Oh, good! Good, dude. Good dog! Good dog! A little fun. Good! So here's what we're gonna do. We've come back now. Tom owns Cody, and Tom has been a friend of mine for years now. He has several dogs of ours that we've trained for him. So Cody is about 2 weeks away from hunting, going on a hunt to Saskatchewan. Our early season is going to open up in a couple days. So one of the things that we're going to focus on here between now and when they go to Canada is transitional training from this training stuff, which our focus has been just exclusively pretty much on, well, I guess I shouldn't say exclusively, but primarily on handling, back casting lefts and rights. And then, but we ran into some issues when she came back, because she went home last fall with Tom and they pheasant hunted quite a bit. They shot a ton of birds over her. And so we found some things that she was sticking on a little bit. And so if you've watched this series, you've seen some of those things that we've experienced early on. We've gotten to the point where we've moved along really well. The last 3 or 4 days have been a struggle, and I talked about it in the last one I think that we filmed, or the one before that, was I really think I put a little pressure on myself timing wise, and I'm pushing and trying to force things to happen with the idea of all of a sudden now we're up against a calendar, and that is not gonna work. And I really think that, I talked to Tom about it, I really do think that she needs a break. The nice part about this scenario has been they live pretty close. So we've bounced her back and forth over the last 50 days or however many days we've been filming this. She's gone home on weekends. She's gone home a couple long weekends. Those are really chances for her to, I think, recharge mentally, probably more than anything. But then she'd always come back off of those pretty strong. And so for the last 2 weeks, Tom's been sheep hunting, and he just got back literally 2 straight weeks. So she was with us and we pressed and pushed, and now all of a sudden it's creeping up on September. And so I'm internally, I recognize now I'm trying to plug all this stuff in probably quicker than I should. And just force myself to think we're there. And we're not necessarily exactly where I want to be in the end, but we're really a nice way down the road. So the next 2 weeks, or roughly a week and a half, instead of focusing on trying to grow and move forward with her, I'm gonna instead give her a little bit of a break, which I think is important. She needs that. So we got a long weekend coming into Labor Day, but also we're going to focus on training Tom, not her. And so we're gonna go back and do some relatively simple things with her, because we're not trying, it's partially to kind of give her a second wind, not put more pressure on her as far as trying to consume new stuff, but it's going to be to get Tom synced up. I think one of the most important things is going to be timing. The really good part about filming all these has been Tom's been able to watch them. Like, I know he watches them because he sends me a message, where's the video for today? Like, he's really paying attention to them. I think he's got a lot of information that he's been able to really study and see. Last night when he picked her up, he came and got her and we worked her together. Not on any handling stuff, I guess we did a very little, but he noticed and recognized her head, when her head was where it needed to be sent. I made some mistakes last night and didn't know her off of a bird and tried sending her on another one, and she took to the last bird, and after the second time in a row I went, I'm a moron. All I gotta do is say, no, leave it, turn and send her, and she ran it beautifully. So I just didn't do the right sequencing. So it's little things like that that are gonna come into how the handler part of it is important. So today and moving forward here, we're gonna work on simple things with her to introduce handling to him. And part of it's going to be, I use different lingo than he's used to. I use different words than he's used to. You always said over instead of out. I'd say get out, he'd say get over. Well, I say get over, and get over means jump over the fence. So we just have different terminology, and he is going to, that will probably take a little bit of practice till it becomes comfortable for him. So to start out with, I think let's do some really simple back stuff. I just want to get her going back, which is good too, because back is something that we haven't spent a lot of time on, and I do think it potentially is faded. We saw it in the last few days, but I don't think it was necessarily that. I think it was more we're burning her out and kind of overloading her. But so I'm going to give you the bag. You're going to wear the bag. I just think it's essential. We talked about it when he got here. He's got to have a bag because he's got to be able to have the stuff, and he's got to be able to get it out of his hands. He's got his whistle. So set this up, Tom. We don't have to go long. We can be short with it. Why don't you walk out to, let's say, that shaded area, not on the other side of the fence, but heel her out there. She has to heel well. Like, that's one thing that when she struggles is because she's distracted on other stuff. And so focus on you, but heel her out there, drop a dummy, bring her back. We'll stop her. I'm gonna have you send her, stop her on the whistle, and then get her back. So we'll go through that. So just to set it up, let's have you heel her out, pitch the dummy, and then heel her back. And I'm going to let those two kind of do it themselves, because this is that handoff part. And I just think it's, whenever I'm training a dog for someone, if the handoff isn't really strong, we just struggle, the dog struggles. There needs to be consistency from them as a handler, from me as a handler to them as a handler, or it's just not fair for the dog. And actually, I'm gonna, just to do this for this, let's have her sit facing that way, and then blow your whistle. Have her stop to that whistle, and come to us. And so I want to get the whistle part. So the whistle is important too. And so I want to get a real crisp. So the reason I'm doing this is, instead of having you blow the whistle to stop her on the move, I'm going to have you start out this drill with a whistle. So I'm going to have you stand here. I'm going to have you give her the single blast with your hand up, and then you're going to recall her to you and get her all the way to you. So start out with a single blast, because I want to hear your single blast. And then recall her.
Yeah.
And then heel.
Yeah.
And now you can line her out. And when she gets to that goose, give her a single blast to that whistle. And when she turns around, your hand needs to be up.
Go.
Hand up, hand up. Okay. Let's just back in.
Hold it.
So there's a couple things. Have her deliver.
Yeah.
So when you lined her, the one thing I think you got to be real careful of, because when it gets complicated, it's going to throw her off. When you reached out to line her, you really raised your hand up when you sent her. And if you do, like that, she's going to follow the hand, because that is going to be a key for her. So when you get out there, and I want you to make sure her head is looking at that dummy. If it's looking up this way, don't send her. So you're going to get out above her, and when she settles and she commits to it, Cody, don't pull the hand out real quick, just Cody. And then when you're out there and she goes to stop, this is what you need to get in the habit of. And we're gonna work on the whistle, because the whistle needs to be a little bit sharper. But when you blow the whistle, your hand better be up, because I want them spinning around, and I don't want you going like this when they spin around, because they think you go back. So it needs to be, she's in the shade, she's at her stride, at the pace she's at, when she leaves that shade, by the time you blow the whistle, she's going to be almost to the goose anyway. So that's the amount of overflow you're going to have. So when she gets out there, it's got to be strong, because she ran into, like, she didn't even slow down for that whistle. And your initial response right after it was holler her name. This is what's got to be here. So this needs to kind of almost get in the habit of really being in your mouth a lot. So before you ever send her, it's in your mouth. You line her out, you send her, you time it so that she gets to that spot, and you're stepping into it before you even blow the whistle. And then you're going to pause it. And she's going to be watching you. And if she's not squared up to you, and you're going to pause again, and then you get back. So let's heel back out there and reset it all up. And this time when he sends, I'm going to have him stop her much shorter, so that she gets used to stopping to his whistle. His whistle sounded different. She completely blanked it out. And I'm also going to have him stop her to the whistle on the way in. So have your whistle in your mouth, Tom. Give her a blast and have her sit right there. This time I'm going to have you call her to you, and she's going to come strong just like she did just now, but I'm going to have you stop her on the way in. Let's stop her on the way in instead of on the way out. It's a lot easier for everybody. So when she comes, you're going to recall her to you, and when she gets into that shadow, stop her, step up into her with a clear hand signal at the same time you're blowing that whistle, and command that stop. Really feel that stop. It's got to be real strong body language from you. Did you call her to you? Step to her. Now leave that hand up. Don't bring that hand back down. Now recall her to you and stop her. Recall her to you. Stop her. That whistle's got to be there before your voice. You almost want to use your voice more than your whistle. And then recall her to you. And stop. Good. Now heel her back out there. We're going to forget about that dummy for a minute. We're not going to do it until we get real good at this. Take her 3/4 of the way, kind of where that dog hut is. So we're really backing up and just covering stop to the whistle. Get that really crisp, because you can't do any of these drills without all these little basic fundamental things. So we need to get her responding really well. You could see she was pretty confused. She was flinchy. She was thinking, maybe I should go back, maybe I shouldn't. She came without being called. So all that stuff is because she anticipated, and she just anticipated the wrong thing. So she's not sure what your body language looks like yet. That's all that was. She came without being called. She stopped. But then your hands were up and down 2-3 times. That's hard for her. So try to think being very efficient with every gesture, like it's as few possible motions as possible that you can do. So she still knows that dummy's back there. That's just memory. Sit down. So we're just going to let her sit for a second. And then what you're going to do is you're going to recall her to you. I'm going to have you do a single blast to the whistle and start it. Like, get in the habit of, when they're at a distance, it starts right here. And then from here you can either come down to go out, or from here you can go back, or from here you can go to you. So always get in this habit of, when they're on a remote sit, you're starting with your hand up in the air. And so you're going to single blast, stop to the whistle. You're going to pause, because I want her to think about it. Because she's going to go, maybe I should go back, maybe I should come to him. I don't want her doing anything until she sees you give her a command. And then I'm going to have you go from here to here, with a beep, 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 and recall her to you. And as long as she comes really nicely, then when she gets in the shade, single blast. Don't hesitate to take a step to her. I almost always find myself taking a step to them. It's really clear, and it's right now, stop. And then stop her. And then when she stops, we're gonna have her completely stop to the point where she like settles down. We're not gonna give her another command until she relaxes, because her flinchiness is, she's guessing. Maybe I'll go back, maybe I'll come to him, that's frantic up here. So we just need her to slow down and then be giving her a real clear, crisp command so she can respond to it accordingly. So she's settled. You can see her shoulders have sunk in a little bit right now. Her ears are down. She's gonna, as soon as you blow her whistle, her ears are gonna respond. She's gonna like almost turn on, and then she can kind of relax, and then she turns on. And you can tell with her mouth, whenever I give her a cast up, she might be breathing, but as soon as I move my hand, she closes her mouth. As soon as she closes her mouth, she's anticipating the next move. So those are just body language things with her that we're, sit down, that we won't allow that to happen. That's sloppy. That's her choosing to act a little too independently. So single blast with the hand up. Good. Now pause. Don't be afraid to tell her good.
Good girl. Set.
And recall her to you. Good. And sit. Good. Now, no need for all of that. Don't give her all of that, because this is what happens.
Heel.
So when she comes in, when she comes in like that, that's good, but like that's just the first part of this drill. And so we don't want her doing that, because now she just checked out. We want her in, and I want her to look at you and you to say, good, heel, and have her heel in. And then when she does that, it's to the next step of this drill, and then to the next step of this drill. When she was a puppy and we were just teaching her to recall, I'd say, yeah, praise her, love her up. But that's not something that we want her to come in and go, what's next? Not, oh, thanks, I'm done. And then go, I wonder if this guy will pet me over here. And that just, we lose that with her. So bring her back out there, do the same thing. Why don't you stop her right here? You give her a sit, you walk over to where she was and call her to you from there. And you'll start it out with a single blast with your hand up, be really clear body language. And this time, pause for a minute. Let her, before you recall her, pause. And have her sit, heel. Get her to heel. There you go. Heel her out to that goose. Turn her around back towards us, and then come back to us. Sit down. And just slow everything down. Single blast and then pause. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. Recall. Stop. Pause. Recall. So and she's cueing off of me. Yeah. That's good. But because she didn't come. I don't mind her being a little bit responsive, but I don't want her being so loose that her butt's up off the ground and she's taking 2 steps in slowly. So do a single blast and watch her body language change. Good. Tell her good.
Good girl.
And recall her to you. Good.
Good girl.
Sit
Yep.
now, healer.
Yep. Sit.
Now take a line out to that. Take a line out to it, and line her out to sender. I'm gonna have you send her. And when she gets into those shadows, stop her the same way you did just now coming in. Stop for 1 second. See how her body is right now? Mm-hmm. See how she's turned? There, step into her. There you go.
Cody.
Stop her. Recall her to you. Ah! Recall her to you. Stop her. And now go back.
Go back.
Good. Good. Don't be afraid to take a little step, almost like a volleyball. Go back. Good.
Hold it. Yeah.
And with your tone on that, go back. Be real, I want to be soft with it. The go back was almost like a correction. Sounded almost like you're mad at her. So I think this goes back to, you're used to get over. You're probably used to guys that really holler too when they send dogs. Those are these field trial guys that, yeah.
Says go back. It's deep and.
Yeah, so these a lot of times, trainers, especially guys, I don't understand it. I almost go, what the f***? Are they mad at them or what? But I hear people yell at their dogs, their names. The dog's sitting right next to you. You don't need to yell at the dog, its name. Yeah, I prefer to go as soft as possible. So when it's there, go back, go back, go back, go back. Those are the things that you can elevate. If you start out with, go back, what do you do if she doesn't do it? You can't get any louder. So I want to be as soft as possible and go back, go back, go back. And it gives me room to go up with it. So I think that's just a style thing that I really like and try to push is softer the better, softer the better, softer the better. So that's something that her tone and your tone is gonna have to, she's gonna have to learn that a little bit. But I thought that was good. I thought it was a little bit cumbersome. You were missing each other just a little bit. Go set that back up again. And I want to do this real simple with one dummy so that it's just, this is really nothing to gain for Cody's training necessarily. It's for Tom. It's for him getting a feel for the timing, get a feeling for the tone, get a feeling for the mannerism stuff. I'm going to ask him to stop putting his hand on his hip. He always puts his left hand on his hip when he's handling her. I want him to have his hand straight down so there's less things for her to see. You're more streamlined. Have her sit to the whistle right there. Have her sit to the whistle. Turn around and look at her. Go pick her up and set her right back down. Move her back about 2 feet. Don't be afraid to pick her up, Tom. You see how she kind of thought that was a game? She almost wanted to play there for a second. And I know it's because you don't want to be mean to her. And I don't want to be mean to her either. But what we have to do is we have to have her understand that it's serious. So if she creeps up on me, I don't come in like I'm gonna try to catch her and get her. You see how she got antsy on you and jumpy? I don't do that. I come in really calm. I simply pick her up and I say, sit down. I don't have to raise my voice. I don't have to be a jerk. I don't want to sound like a real negative guy. I don't want to be real, I don't need to hurt her feelings, especially with her. But I want it to be real serious. So I don't mind picking her up and just setting her down and saying, That's more than enough correction for her. But she's got to know that she can't take that step. So her balance of that sensitivity is a little bit of a no, what are you doing? That's enough for her. You don't have to come in with the idea of making her want to duck away either. And she knew you weren't going to do that, so she thought it was fun. She got playful at that point. Well, the last thing I wanted her to think that this is a time to turn into a little game. This is, you gotta, I'm asking you to be serious for just a little bit here. So one thing I'm gonna have you do is, you're in a habit of putting your left hand on your hip when you do your right stops. Straighten that out. Just because there's the visual part for her, seeing that versus you straight down, it becomes a lot easier for me to focus on this hand, the hand that's action. So put that one at your side. And step into her with a nice solid. And then you'll recall her to you. Good.
Good girl.
And you can pause and then send her back. Don't bring that hand down.
Back. Back.
Go back. There! Did you see her body language change? Did you see her ears change? When you said back, back, she cringed.
Well, I don't have a soft voice.
I know, but you're gonna have to work on it a little bit. She's just gonna have to start to learn what it sounds like when you say it, what you want. So she doesn't know what it sounds like. She knows what it sounds like when I say, go back, go back, go back. When you said it, she thought she was getting corrected twice. And then the last time, now get her to you. The last time you did it, you said, Cody, go back. And her ears went like this. Really? And she turned and went. So let's do that again. Do that again. And you don't have to throw it even that far. You can put it right there. Let's just shorten this up. And this time I'm going to have you call her even closer to you, so you don't have to holler. She's closer. She's going to be real close. She's going to be able to hear you. And I think what we're going to try to do, what I want you to do is I want you to work on your go back. And it's going to look like this. When you're looking at her, it's going to be go back, go back. You're almost punching her out. Go back, go back. So we're going to get her close. I'm going to have you call her to about right here so you can whisper it to her. So it's going to be straight up and solid. And then you'll recall. Good. Bring her even a little closer to you. There. Now straight up. Look her right in the eye. Make sure she's looking right at you. And then just give her a nice little soft.
Cody,
Good. And you can just go back. Go back.
back. Go back, Cody. Go back.
She's all right. She'll
Go
find.
back, Cody.
Let her work. She's fine. Good. When she's right here, go back. Go back.
Good girl. Hold it. Cody. Hold it.
Good. Set that up one more time. And we're gonna have her just and heel her all the way back. Actually, you know what? Put her on sit right here. Like right there. Have her face you. This way. Have her face this way. Come this way. Get her to face this way. Sit. Good. Now come here. Let's simplify it even more so. It'll be even easier. There's no memory involved. Take the dummy. I want you to stop her with your left hand. Now every time you've cast her back has been with your right hand. So we need to be able to have her take it both ways too. So I want you to stop her with your left hand up. Beep. Take your dummy, throw it up over the top of her. Don't let this hand down. She's gonna watch it, she's gonna go and look at it, and then she's gonna come back to you. And I want her to eyes, and as soon as her eyes lock up with you, just pause just a second, and then you're gonna say, go back, go back. And she's gonna turn to go, okay? So you're gonna stop her with your left hand up. You're gonna pitch over with the right. Don't bring your left hand down. She can come back to you. No whistle. Just you're gonna send her right from here.
Okay.
Send her right from that spot. So.
I thought you said call her back to me.
No, so heel out there. Turn around. Have her face this way. Have her face this way. So walk right up to her and heel her. Get her in heel position. Left hand side. There you go. Right there. Now have her sit and come back to you. Now the steps that I want you to do is stop with your left hand up. Stop, whistle, left hand up. Pause, get eye contact, and then send her back.
Cody, go back.
Don't put your hand down. So this is how you send her back. Go back.
Okay. Here.
Good. It's just all it's just all getting the sequencing down. So heel her back out there, turn around, right at that shade spot, turn around and face me. Turn around, face me with her on heel, have her sit, then you come to me. You're gonna do the exact same thing. You're gonna stop with your hand up, left hand up. Your right hand is gonna have the dummy. You're gonna pitch the dummy up over the top. You're not gonna put your left hand down. You're gonna keep it up. You're gonna get eye contact back from her, and you're gonna count just a split second, and then you're gonna take your hand and you're gonna go back. Just say those words, just those 2 words, go back. So stop with put your hand down for a second and kind of reset this whole thing. So you're gonna go up with the left hand, whistle, same time. Pitch with your right hand. Good. Eyes back to you. And 2 words.
Go ahead.
Good.
Good girl.
Much better.
Good girl.
Much better.
Hold it.
Hold. You put that right back in her mouth. You hold.
Hold it.
Cannot do that. And she's getting a little hot.
Yeah.
Did you see the sequence on that one? That sequence was right. Your everything, every step was right. Go back. And did you see how when you set that up, there was a point there where she went and she looked and she went, I know what's coming next, because you didn't do anything different than I do. You had your hand up, you pitched over, she looked at you, you went like this, you started to move your hand and her ears went, and you said, go back. And that's the sequence to getting her back. So let's set that up again. This is just drilling to get your rhythm down. And at the same time, she's starting to learn what it looks like and what it sounds like when you're asking her to do it. It looks a little different to her. It sounds a little different to her. She needs, because we're not going to be exactly the same, and she needs to understand that that's what what you want from her when you do it that way. So left hand up, whistle at the same time. Up and over with a dummy. Eye contact back, pause, bring the left hand down just slightly, and then go. Good. And then tell her good. Good girl.
Good girl, hold it now. Hold it. Hold it.
She's hot. And put it right back in there. No, 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 no.
Hold it.
Go ahead, take it. Now, we know that she's done that 2 times in a row. She never does that. So she's hot right now. I think that's part of it. If she comes back to you next time, I want you to say hold. And I want you to be real firm about it and get underneath her if you have to. Hold. Let's bring her into some shade for a second. So that sequence was a lot better. And the way she responded to it was a lot better. Sit down, get her in heel and have her sit. She can't get loose with you to say, I go when I want. And that's going to be a real direct connection to how she does the rest of the sessions with you. So, but that sequence is really important. And so stop, pitch, go back, and then deliver. And when she comes in on it, when she brings it into you, come here, hold, hold, right here, right here, hold. Get the eyes to come to you. If her eyes are looking at you, she can't drop the dummy even if she tries, because her head's up. Good, good. So a reminder of it, hold, good. Get her eyes looking to you. Come on. Hold. Good. Dead. Good. And I think the other thing too is, and we'll work on it, is the timing of when she does it, when she does anything for you, especially early on now, because she's a little uncertain. Anytime she does something from you, command-wise, if you say go back and she goes back, I want you to follow it up with a good. So that she goes, that's exact, sit down. So that she goes, that's exactly what I'm supposed to do. Sit down. And we're gonna put, if she continues to do this, we'll put a lead on her. Sit down. Because that's just sloppy. But when she takes a back, go back, and she spins around, by the time she spins around and is into her first step, I want you to get in a habit of good. Because what's gonna happen is as soon as you start saying get out, she's gonna hesitate, and as soon as you're gonna have to get out, and when she does it, I want you to be really quick to let her know, good. Because she's gonna hear that and she's gonna go, that was the right decision. Because the other part of it is if we send her, go back, and she goes to the right, or we say get out, and she turns to go back, just as quickly as you say good, you're gonna have to say, ah! Or you're gonna have to be on the whistle and stop her and reset it. So it's I still have to do it with her at times. You definitely will have to do it to start out with, because in order for her to understand what you're asking her to do, for the first few times, you gotta tell her, good, that's what I want you to do. Correct. Like basically what you're doing is saying, correct, you did it right, good. And so the timing needs to be when she makes the decision. So it's go back, and as soon as she goes back, good, good. And eventually, you know, as we get into more complicated stuff, if she's going and she's going and she's going, I may remind her and push her back with go back, go back, go back. If she starts to fade a little bit, I'm just reinforcing it. We're just trying to help her. We're just trying to help her understand she's making a good decision, she's making a good decision, she's making a good decision. Help her process it on the go. But that just takes real reactive timing on your part. And it just, all that will take is just doing it a little bit to make it feel better. The last ones looked 100 times better than the first three. Because the first three were not, it wasn't instinctive at all, and it was really thinking about it and then doing it. And by the time you think about it and then do it, it's usually too late anyway. So once you didn't have to think about it, you didn't have to think about the steps, because you had done it 2 or 3 times and you knew what was coming next, and you just did it, it got better, and she did a lot better. And we simplified it. We took away the stopping her on a whistle. We took away the motion part of it. Let's just stationary it. That's how, if you look back on Cody, on the first one, Cody would go back. The very first time I ever got her to go back was I put her on a remote sit. I threw a dummy over the top of her head. I stopped her and I said, go back. It's exactly what I did the first time she figured out how to turn around and go back. And the first time she did it, she came running to me, and then she went and got it. And I said, good. But she eventually realized I don't have to run all the way back to him. I just spin around and go. But that's exactly the process. So the nice part about it is, and it's probably how we should do it, is go back to the very beginning of how I taught her how to do it, and have you do those steps with her, because she doesn't need to be taught them anymore. She knows them. Now it's her knowing them triggered by your commands, because they are going to be just a little bit different. And it's my job to try to get you as close to sounding and looking and feeling like I did for the last 45 days. Because she does know that, but now she's got to know it from you too. So that's enough for her right now. I mean, going back is a real important part. And once you got it, once you get the rhythm for it and you get the feel for it and she gets the feel for you with it, it'll just become something that becomes natural. It'll become easier. Even right now, your difference in style of lining and sending is throwing her off a bit. And it's not a terrible terribly big amount, but heel, come here. But when I get into her to line her, I'm really turning into her. And when you're on her, you're here and you were like this and her body was turned. You were more like this. So I'm going like this. And see how the tip of her nose really keys off my hand? So it's going to help her greatly. Come on. It's going to, if I'm aiming at that goose that's on the right there, I really got to get her lined up. There. See that? The difference. I don't know if Ben saw that. Were you on that? So head pivot, settle in, and that was the time for me to send the dog. And if I sent her, she'd have run all the way to that clump. But if I lined her up and just sent her on her name, right now, I got maybe a 50-50 chance of it. But when I get into her, just the change in her ears is my time to go. Go now, send her. Good. But you got to get in the right, if I'm over here going like this, see how her ears are right now? She's really uncertain. She's going, what the f are you doing? This looks nothing like what we're used to doing. Good. Watch. So it's getting that feel for her, and her getting the feel for you and going, I think I know what he wants. I think I know, and that's going to come from doing these drills, is her knowing what you want. But back is real important. And so simply going through the basic steps with you and her at a real accelerated pace is what we'll end up doing. So she's had a chance kind of to sit for a second. Let's do this again. Let's have you go down to that corner, drop a dummy, heel her back. We'll stop her in this shade and we'll just send her back to that corner. So we're going to change the spot just to give her a little bit of a different view so she's not so bored. And be real crisp. Like I like your mannerism right now. Your business. And she is feeding off that. See the difference in those two right now? There's a big difference in her attention to you. Have your whistle in your mouth and be ready, because you're going to stop her right here. Get used to walking around with that in your mouth and it'll become a lot easier. Now you're here. Now you can go right hand or left hand, I don't care. Step into her and give her a stop.
Cody, go back.
And just go back.
Good.
Go back. Good girl.
Hold it. Hold.
There, now you're getting eyes. Don't be afraid to go underneath her too. If you want to go underneath her chin and reward that, bring it up, pet, kind of stroke up the chin. That one was really crisp. Right from the start, that one was really crisp. That was much better. When you go to send her back, go back. Cody, go back will be only if you really got to get her attention. It'll be, go back, go back. Good. All right, turn around, go send one over the fence. And command her attention, just like you did in the last one. Get your whistle in your mouth. Whistle in your mouth, and then stop her right there. Good. And we're going to back up just a little bit. I want to keep the distance between you and her pretty close here to start out so that you don't get in a habit of really hollering at her go back. I want it to be close so it's real responsive. So we're going to recall her, you're going to recall her to you. So you're going to start this out with a stop whistle, either hand. You're going to recall her to you and you're going to stop her in the shadow. Good. Reminder it's good. She's making a good decision. And stop. Whenever you're ready.
Go back. Go back.
Good.
Girl. Good girl.
Good. Good girl.
Good girl.
Finish it really strong with a delivery. Get her eyes to you.
Hold it. Hold it.
If you have to, get underneath her chin and encourage it. Good. Get those eyes. Good. Well done. Both of you. Much better. Now, what I really commend, now heel her up.
Yeah.
What I commend you on was your patience right here at stop. You really waited. And there was a couple times where her body language changed, where she went, I know it. I get it. I'm sitting, I'm good. And your hand was about to move and you could just see her eyes get this big and her ears, and you waited through it. And so I think you actually sent her, catching her off guard a bit. She thought you were going to send her, and I thought you were going to send her. Me too. Thought the rhythm would be a little bit sooner. So it's not a bad thing. It's just your rhythm was different than mine. And mine was, I'm just waiting for him to say, go back. And she was too. And you waited and waited and then waited a little more. And then you go back. Now, your physical is different than mine. Your tone is different than mine. Her result was the same. That's what matters. So that's where your good needs to be timed really well. And you caught her with a good. You probably could have caught her with a good one step sooner as she's spinning. But that's just another thing where you're gonna start getting in the habit of reminding her when she does it right quickly, so that she goes, that you can say, well done, good decision, good choice. So that one was 100 times better. That one was real nice. And I think that's enough for right now, for both of you probably. But that's just easing, and I'm trying to ease you in, and we jumped into it probably on step 3, and we should have started on step 1 and went to 2 and then 3. So, but we did it. We just backed up a little bit, and so it just depends on how delicate she's going to be with the handling too. I've seen some dogs that the slightest little bit of a change in the command or the handler really throws them off, and I've seen some dogs that seem to be just get close and they do it. So I don't know where she's at yet. Your back was different than mine, and she responded real well once she knew what it was you were looking for.
She's got to remember, you're the teacher and I'm the fun guy, so now it goes to the teacher part.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a transition.
Yeah.
Different.
Yes, because the in-between stuff, the running off and and when you walk up to her and I'm telling you, pick her up and put her back, and she runs up to you and she kind of goes, what do you want to do? Let's play. That's a different personality. So yes, you will have to go to the best thing I saw today was when you walked down here and set it up, because I don't know what it was, but you were real businesslike. And I said it to Ben. I said, did you notice that? Real business. And she was right here, just really paying attention, and then she did it really well. So I don't think you got to be a jerk. I don't think you can be, it's like being a parent. I think you have to be their friend for sure, someone that they can trust for sure, but you can't let them be, you're not buddy either, and where there's a equal, or maybe sometimes they try to test and be a little bit more of a leader than you. So it's a fine line there. I do think you want to be their friend. I just think they work better for you when they like you. I think I work better with them when I like them. I don't think there's an issue with you liking her or her liking you. It's just a matter of be firm enough at times too, so that you don't let her get away with something. And if you do, that's you. I don't care, but don't blame me for it. So that was good. I thought that was real nice. That's something that we can build off of. We get this timing down well, then rights and lefts will start to rights and lefts will be easier once your back is good, because your timing for rights and lefts is going to be very similar to back. It's just a different command. So let's get the basic one down first. Okay? Good girl. Good girl.